Tuesday evening. I just want to go over a few points, some things that happened today in the live room, and I just want to take this time and really explain step by step, maybe, how to combine what I put in Discord and what I say in the live room. So, first of all, if you're not sure, if you're not part of the group, every evening, a bit after Globex opens, so a bit after 6 p.m., I post buy and sell level for 7 futures markets, but in this video I'm going to be talking specifically about the NASDAQ and the S&P. So the sell level for the NASDAQ, let's start with the NASDAQ first. Sell level posted Monday night is 610. Now at 7:30, sometime between 7:30 and 8 a.m., there is also a trade indications channel where I post an update for the NASDAQ and the S&P specifically. So before we go into this, let's remember again the sell level posted Monday night was 610. The market makes a low of 614. It makes a low of 614 against the 610 target. Okay, this is 7:30, and I stop here on purpose to make the point of I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I do know how to identify bearish and bullish conditions, or bearish and bullish scenarios. So NASDAQ stops at 614 against the 610 target. What does that mean? Well, it could be read in one of two ways. Number one, this signifies strength. Even though 610 is a sell level, the fact that they miss it by 4 points and then looks like they start to form up. This is where I am at 7:30, because this is where I posted in Discord the update for the NASDAQ. And my point of doing this is again to show that I don't know what's going to happen. But either the NASDAQ is so strong that they did not need to really get to the actual 610, 614 is good enough, or they simply did not do it yet. Meaning, yes, it looks like they're moving away from it, but they're going to come back and they're going to complete it. So, in Discord, I post that I acknowledge that the NASDAQ came to 614 and not 610. And now here is the bullish and bearish scenario. Below 720, and this is key, please remember that. Below 720, the NASDAQ remains weak. As of this point, we are below 720. Below 720, the market remains weak. And if 720 is tested and fails, and that's where I go into in detail in Zoom. In other words, this is a kind of a summary of what I talk about in Zoom. In the live room, I obviously go a lot more into detail. If the NASDAQ can come up to 720 and fail at 720, we're going to do 610 and lower, possibly, as I write, the 610. There was also a level at 580, which I discussed in the live room. It's not here, but I did discuss it in the live room. However, if they start breaking above 730, we could have a bullish scenario in our hands where we are shooting toward 800 and higher. So again, from this point, do I know where they're gonna go? No, I do not. All I know is if I see a test of 720, I know to keep a very close eye on this, because that will define the rest of the day. That 720 separates a bearish scenario if it fails to actually reach the 610 and lower, or they break through 720 and especially 730, hold 730, and then move toward 800. Now, right before 9:30 Eastern, right, the market is about to open, I tell everyone, let's try and be patient. Why do I say that? Because we are smack in the middle, where we are right here. We are smack in the middle between the 610, right, the destination on the bottom, and 720. The fact is, in here, I really I am neutral, meaning I really don't know. I don't have a specific direction, if you will, from here. All I know is this: nothing changes. If I see a test of 720, it becomes super important. So that's all I know. I tell everyone here to wait. We need to see what the story is with that 720. Here is the open, and right away they test this 720. Why didn't I say to just be long for 720? Again, I do not know where price is going ahead of time. Below 720, as I mentioned, the market remains weaker. It's not the time to take a long, at least until we reach some levels on a downside. This test right here, this is the important test. We are testing the 720. Here is a small spike of the 720. Remember, the reason I'm still not acting here is because if we go above 730, then there is an actual a bullish scenario that could bring us all the way to 800. So I don't want to be long, I don't want to be short. I need to see what's going to happen. 720 fails and we go lower, possibly 100 points lower. 720 holds and breaks through, and we go to 810 and higher. At this point now, and it's one of the setups that I show in Zoom, I am ready to take a short. Right here, this tells me 720 was tested and failed. What can I expect? First 680, then 640, then 610, and then, as I mentioned in the live room, a possible 580. And here it is. Everything. Okay? So I needed to be patient at first. It's very easy to look after the fact and say, hey, listen, you could have just taken a long towards 720 and then shorted 720. Okay, after the fact, it's all very clear. As things are about to happen in real time at 9:30, you don't see that, you don't know. From this point, you don't know. So that's why I said just be patient. Okay, that's the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at the S&P. Okay, so unlike the NASDAQ, they just missed its sell level, if you remember, by 4 points, 614 instead of the 610. The S&P, these are the levels I posted for the S&P on Monday night, had its sell level at 5,009, so broke way below it. Okay, so S&P was in a slightly different position and got as low as 49.94. But now let's put things in context. Those of you who were in the live room on Friday, you know that I said if the S&P closes the day, which also means the week, it was on Friday, if it closes the day and the week below 5,036, we are looking for 49.88 on a downside, 49.88. So even though the S&P breaks through the sell level 5,009 and makes it to 94, it misses 88. Not only does it miss 88 by 6 points, which is significant for the S&P, it looks like it moves higher back toward 5,009. So this is where I am at 7:30 when I write the update in the trade indications channel for the S&P. So once again, I kind of acknowledge that there is a miss of 88. They stop at 94. But I write that as long as they're below 09, S&P below 09 remains weak. So group members, as you are reading this, you should really write everything down. These prices, these levels will be at play and will be important. So below 09, even though it's climbing so strong, below 09 they are still weak and still can do the actual test of 88. As I mentioned in a Zoom room at 8 a.m., about half an hour after I posted this, most of the time, like between 70 and 80% of the time, markets will complete the full numbers they need to go to. So for the NASDAQ, it's 610 and 580 as we saw. For the S&P, it's 88. This 94 is not good enough. If it is, if 94 is all they're going to do, and again, at this point, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is below 09 is still weak, and most of the time, markets complete the prices they're supposed to go to. Where is S&P supposed to be today? 49.88. Why? Because they closed Friday below 5,036. So this is right about 9:30. Bid session is about to open. Just like the NASDAQ, the S&P is stuck right between, right? The 5,009, below which, as I wrote, as I said, the market is weaker, and the 88. It is smack in the middle. There is nothing I can do here. Again, that's the reason why I said we need to wait. To wait for what? To see if we can test 09 from underneath. Now in S&P, I actually had a reason to believe that we might go higher. Those of you who are in the room remember that I did say there is a chart that is pointing to 5,011. So 5,011 is in the neighborhood of 09. So I have a very good reason to believe that we're going to see that 09. So, but I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to see if that's going to happen. I don't want to be long below 09. The market opens, and where is it going? Take a look at the high, 09 and a quarter. It comes up to 09 and a quarter, and just like the NASDAQ, it reaches that important level, right? So if you remember, for the NASDAQ, that important level was 720. In S&P, that important level is 09 and a failure, and they do the 88. So the reason, again, I am making this video is not to pat myself on the back, but actually to make sure that, again, those of you who are members, when you get these trade indications, write down the prices, mark them on your charts, whatever you gotta do. Very often, they will play a key role in the day's trading, and you will know what to look for. In S&P, if you see the 09, it's like, oh wait, 09, what did he say about 09? Below 09 is weaker. This is a test of 09 from underneath. By the way, if 09 is not resistance, and just to be sure, we don't know, right? As prices arriving at 09, we don't know if it's going to stop or not. What happens if price does not, if 09 is not an area of resistance? Then we have 18, and then we go into the 20s and possibly higher. So there is always a bullish and a bearish scenario, and it almost always pretty much up to one level. there are really every day only one or two truly important levels, and you just must uh, put them on your charts or whatever you got to do. Write them down, have them in front of you, so you know what to do when price gets there. Now, of course, you still need to trade these indications, and that's why I say you must have some kind of a setup or an indicator or a strategy, something where you can confirm, for example, a failure. '09 is tested and fails. How do you define this failure? You must have something. Um, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, but you must have something to kind of confirm for you that, okay, we are going lower. I'm getting a short signal. We tested '09 from underneath. Below '09 we're still weak. Here is '09, it fails. I can take a short. So I hope this video helped, because I did get a couple of comments today, and you know, when there was any kind of a misunderstanding, I always consider it to be my fault. Somewhere along the line, I did not communicate something effectively or clearly, you know. But I do the same thing every day when you right. So I mean, there are all these trade indications every day, and between like 7:30 and 8 a.m., an hour and a half to 2 hours before the market opens, I have all these indications, and they always include just a few numbers that are truly important, truly important. So just make sure that they are on your charts, and if you are in Zoom and I'm not being clear, ask me immediately. Don't wait. Okay? All right, everyone. That's all. Thank you.